friends, welcome back to my channel. For this video, I'd like to share my setup for my new Hobonichi Weeks planner. And I've been using this planner for a little over a month now. I started back in March, and I will be sharing the reasons why I switched away from my Starbucks planner to this one later on in the video. So let's just jump right into the setup. I have here the Patiño Weeks cover in the color Blossom. And I've already shown my first impressions on this cover before in a previous video. I also have the Moterm Weeks cover here, and this is a lot more compact than the print pressing cover. So as you can see, it is shorter and it's a tiny bit narrower than the print pressing cover. So I really like having this as a lightweight option for my weeks. The only thing is it doesn't quite lay flat, so it tends to push up like that. And so I struggled a little bit with writing on my planner, even though the Hobonichi Weeks laid flat, just because this thing would always push up. I had a hard time writing on my planner. And also stashing papers into the back pocket here, it is a little bit snug if you just fold the papers in half. I am currently using the Print Pressing Weeks right now because I am using the back pocket to store some paperwork. Opening up my planner, here is what it looks like. Over here on the left side, I just have this little journaling card from Poi and Hun. I messed up on cutting out the rounded corners here. I don't know what happened to this corner, but yeah, it doesn't look that great. So I'm just leaving it here in this little picture window where you can't see my mistake. And then up top, I have this rose gold ollie clip, and I'm just using it to hold my other journaling card here. Messy bun and getting stuff done. These are happy planner stickers that I decided to just paste onto this little piece of paper. This is 32-pound paper, and what I did is I printed this floral background in the back, and then I added my stickers in the front, cut it up, and then I ran it through my laminator, and I used a matte sheet. So here's what it looks like. I think it looks gorgeous. I'm so happy that I made this. So I just like to tuck this in here. And I use my ollie clip right now to hold it in place, but I also use my ollie clip to hold down my planner sometimes, so this does have a functional use to it. And then here in the full height pocket, I do keep my writing board, and I just like to tuck it away in here when I'm not using it. Then here's my planner. I am decorating the cover. I'm slowly adding stickers to the front cover. This is the Cream PU cover, I believe is the name. And there was this white stripe that was running along the height of the planner that I didn't care for, so I decided to add my own floral tape, and then I decided to add these two stickers just to start collaging on the cover. And I'm not quite done with this cover yet. I'm just letting it come out organically over the year as I acquire more stickers that I feel fit the aesthetic of my cover. And I don't have anything in the back just yet, but again, as the year goes on, I'll be adding stickers to the back over time as well. So I do have this clear cover on my planner, and I like that it can fit the print pressing cover really nicely. The Hobonichi Weeks won't fit the Moterm cover if you put in the clear cover. So if you're looking for an outer cover that would fit the Hobonichi Weeks with the clear cover, I definitely recommend the print pressing one. And what I like about this setup is if I just want to carry only the planner, I can simply slide this out. And this cover has a pen loop, so I can just take my pen, add it into my pen loop here, and then here we go. I can just carry this around the house or in my mini bag or anywhere else, and it's super easy. And then when I want to put it back into my print pressing cover, I just slip it back in here. So I love how functional that setup is. And then jumping to the back real quick, I just have my personal info and my emergency contacts card. I don't have anything inside this zipper here. And again, I'm using the back pocket for some paperwork. And then taking a proper look at my planner, I do have these sticky tabs on the top. I think these are from Avery, they're metallic lined. And I have a tab for this month and this week. And I did use my label maker to create these labels just so they look nice and neat when I'm looking at them. And what I love about this setup is I can just put my finger on the tab like so, and then flip open my planner, and then I'll be in the current month. And then same with my weekly tab. I can just flip it open and see if I have any private info. And yep, here's the current week. So I love how helpful that is for me. I added these tabs because I didn't actually like the bookmarks on the Hobonichi Weeks. I don't like bookmarks in general actually, so I decided to just cut them off. So you can see here in the top the remaining ribbon, and I've been enjoying this planner so much more after cutting off the bookmarks. They're just cumbersome to me, they get in my way. Alright, so let's open up the planner. I don't have anything on the inner cover just yet. I do have this strip of tape, so I just taped it around my planner like so. And then here is the first page. So I do use the bullet journal style of task management in my dated planners. So here's my key, and I just copied this over from my Starbucks planner. This is exactly the same key. And I just wrote this down on a spare piece of paper, taped it onto my planner, and added some collaging. And then here's just a little girl sticker on the front cover. I love this aesthetic of having a flower crown around a girl sticker. That's like my go-to style. And these stickers are from the Happy Planner journaling doodles, I believe. And then this girl sticker is from AliExpress. I'll see if I can find the link down below. And then here we have the yearly overview. So I don't really use this page, but what I've decided to do is once a month has passed, I just add this little dot over the months. And the dot marker I use is my Zig Clean color dot in the candy pink. And then here is the other yearly overview. So I'm just using this right now for tracking birthdays. So these are my friends and family's birthdays. I'm also tracking some health stuff in here, but otherwise I don't know what else to use this page for. And then here we are at the monthly pages. So this is the December 2020 spread, and what I decided to do here is I decided to turn this into my ideal month template. My intention for this spread is if I were to have a very productive month where I'm just getting a lot of things done and I'm performing really well and my mental health is great and just feeling really good about myself, this is what I would ideally be able to do in that month. So ideally I would be able to upload a video every week. Ideally I would be able to zone clean at least one area in my house every week. And then I would have a personal goal, a family goal, a home goal, and a social media goal. And these goals don't necessarily have to be complicated. It's just something that I want to accomplish that month. So for example, maybe I want to finish 2 books in that month. But that's my intention as far as goal settings go for the month. And I'm not quite done with the spread just yet because I'm still figuring out what homeschooling is going to look like for my son. He's still really little and he doesn't need a very structured setup quite yet. Right now we're just making it fun and natural and learning things as we encounter stuff throughout the day and not pressuring him to learn things so quickly. So just kind of keeping it free-flowing and following his curiosity. But as he gets bigger throughout the year, I do want to consider adding some more structure to his learning or maybe enrolling him to a preschool. So that's up in the air right now. We're also in the middle of a move, so I'm just feeling upside down in general, and I don't really know what things are going to look like for us once we settle down in our new place. But that is what I'm planning to do with this ideal month template. And I did do some lettering here at the bottom, but I messed up. So I decided to just add this scrap piece of paper. This is from Sterling Ink. So this was the leftover piece from one of her printables, and it fit just so in this section. So I decided to just tape it in, and then I used my label maker so that I won't mess up this time, and then I just added it in here. And then here we are at the 2021 monthly pages. So I did back plan January and February into this planner just so I can have a clear bird's eye view of what my year looked like. And I also went ahead and decorated this spread. I didn't want to hold myself back as far as my planning style with this Hobonichi Weeks went because I felt like I wanted to be able to use this to the fullest so that I would know if this planner was truly working for me or not. So I went ahead and used stickers that I love, made the spread to my aesthetic, and I really love this spread. And then here is February, which didn't turn out as well, but you know, they can't all be winners. And then here is March. And then here we are at April. I do have some private info, so I can't show you that just yet. But since the month is ongoing, I haven't decorated the monthly spread just yet. So let's move on to the weekly pages. So again, I started this planner in March 2021. This is a January start planner, and I bought it pre-loved on Facebook towards the end of February, so I got it for a really good deal. So these pages are blank. I've considered covering up these pages possibly and adding my own spreads to it, but I haven't decided yet, so I'm just leaving them blank for now. I did go ahead and jump to the last week of February, and what I did here is my ideal week template. Similar to my ideal month template, this is what I hope my week would look like when my productivity is just on point and I'm feeling at the top of my game, and again, I'm not feeling overwhelmed. My mental health is really good. My baby's sleeping well, so I'm rested. All ideal conditions. This is what I want my week to look like. And my weeks don't always look like this, especially recently because the move is just taking up so much of my headspace. But this is what I try to strive for every week when I do my weekly review. And I very loosely follow the Fly Lady method, but basically my week is very, very structured, as you can see. Friday's blank because I tend to just coast on Fridays, but I do write down all the tasks that I want to be able to do in a week. And then here I just have some notes. Here's my habit tracker and how frequently I'd like to be able to do all of these habits that I'm tracking. And then here's some notes on how often I want to run my Roomba, dinner, laundry schedule. I would put the laundry schedule here, but I ran out of room, so just adding it here. And then some more notes on how I want my week to look like. And then here is what an actual week for me looks like. This is my very first week in my Hobonichi Weeks, so I was still trying to figure out how exactly I wanted to use this planner. It's a lot smaller than my Starbucks planner, so I didn't have as much room to add things. So I had to learn to be more to the point when I write things down, and also write down less fluff into my planner, because I think that was something that I was doing with my Starbucks planner. I tend to just log every single thing that I did just to fill up the page and make me feel productive and valid, I guess, when I don't necessarily need to do all that to be able to get the daily tasks done and to follow my routines. So again, this is my very first week. I just wrote down this little heading that says, "Hello, Hobonichi." These stickers are from the Sticky Club subscription pack, and then these flower stickers and the washi tape is from Sterling Ink. Here's just another weekly spread. I basically decorate my Hobonichi Weeks the same way I did my Starbucks planner. I fill out the week first, and then I decorate the spread at the end of the week, and I fill in the empty spaces with stickers. And then the rest has private info, so I can't show you, unfortunately. I can jump quickly to the back pages. The back pages are a mess, but just to give you an idea of what they look like. So here is the first spread of blank pages. I'm reserving these for my index, and I haven't gotten around to making it just yet because I'm not entirely sure if I want this to be an index. So I'm just leaving it open for now. And then here is my expense tracker, just tracking my personal expenses as far as discretionary spending and all that. And then here's a fun little page I made, Skyrim Alchemy. So I was playing Skyrim for a little bit a couple of weeks ago, and I decided to just write down some alchemy recipes. And I need to add my DPS potion here, my Fortify Archery potion. Can't believe I forgot. Like, what's the point of my planner if I don't write things down, right? And then the rest are pretty much empty. I'll be filling out these pages as the year goes on, and I need more notes, obviously. But let's go ahead and jump to the very back. So I do have a pen test here because this is my first real attempt to use Tomoe River paper. I was trying to figure out what's the best pen for me, and so I was testing out all sorts of pens, and the ones that I landed on are the Uniball 1 gel pen. This is their new quick dry pen, and I really like it. It writes very smoothly, and it writes very dark compared to my other black pens. So here it is, and then you compare it to the others, it's a very, very dark ink. And then the other pen that I like is the Autographic Liner in the 005. So this is the 0.3 millimeters, I believe. And this is fine liner ink, but it's rollerball, so the pen tip doesn't wear down as you use it. So I really, really like that. The problem is the ink is very wet, so it takes a long time to dry on the page. So I wasn't a big fan of that, which is why I switched to the quick drying Uniball 1. I also really like the Uniball Signal on my Hobonichi Weeks in theory. The problem is it will continue to smear on my page even one day after I would write on the paper. So here you can see the pen test. So this is my typical pen test. I do a smear test here immediately after I write this little blob. And then this one is my 1-day test. So I write this down, wait at least 24 hours, and then I smudge this section. And so you can see that the Uniball Signo gel pen still smudges, at least for me. My friend says she doesn't have that problem, so maybe I just have really oily hands or something. But here you can observe that the Autographic liner and the Uniball 1 gel pen doesn't smudge after 1 day. So that was the final deciding point for me as far as which pen I wanted to use for my Hobonichi Weeks. And then here I just have a sample page, just trying to figure out how I want my weekly pages to look like. So if I want to try a different writing style, if I want to try print or cursive, I try it out here first, see what it looks like, and decide if I like it or not. And then here in the back, these are the usual pages that you get in Japanese. I do intend on filling this one because I feel like this is useful to know if you're clothes shopping or trying to get something tailored. My 100, I haven't filled this one yet. I'm thinking of using a media log on this, but I already have that on my Starbucks planner and I felt like that was too repetitive, so I'm still deciding what I want to put in this spread. So if you have any ideas for me, I'd love to know. And then these aren't relevant to me, so again, I thought about covering this with my own blank paper and then making my own spreads, but I haven't thought of exactly what kind of spreads I would do on this page. So again, I'm just leaving it blank for now. I do find this page useful. You can look at the illustration and get a good idea of what it's trying to tell you. And then here at the last page, I did take the time to fill out my emergency contacts in this contact page. And then here at the very back, I filled out my personal info up here. I took Japanese for 1 year in college, so I was able to read the basic stuff on these forms. But if you can't read Japanese, what you can do is you can download the Google Translate app on your phone, and then you can point your camera at this text and it'll actually translate it onto your screen, which I thought was really cool. So for the characters that I wasn't able to read, I used that. I was able to fill out these boxes just fine. So I do have my phone number here, my Instagram username, and then here in the back, I did add a recent photo of me and I just decorated it. That's something I like to do in all of my planners. Again, since I wanted to use this planner to the fullest and not hold myself back, just so I can properly assess if this planner is working for me, I decided to make this page on my Hobonichi Weeks as well. So that is my setup in my Hobonichi Weeks. So let's talk about why I switched from my Starbucks planner, which I do have here. So I did make several videos on my Starbucks planner this year, and I truly intended to stick with this planner. I honestly thought that I was going to fill this up exactly the same way as I did last year. But a pain point that I have with this size, not the planner necessarily, but just this size, is I think it's just too big for me now. Towards the end of the year last year, I just felt really bogged down by the size. This planner gets really heavy the more you add stickers to it, and I didn't want to compromise my decorating style with my planner. So I knew that in time this planner was also going to get bulky and heavy. I was already having problems with this before I started filling it up. I felt like it was too big for me. I'm on my feet a lot now because my son is a lot more mobile, and I'm just trying to be more proactive with doing things around the house and taking him out. This size was just not very friendly to that kind of mobile lifestyle, I guess, for lack of a better term. So what I ended up doing is I would leave this on my desk and then I would go about my day. Now the problem was I would start forgetting what I would write in my planner, and so I was starting to feel lost. And at the same time, I kept looking at the Hobonichi Weeks on Instagram and on YouTube, and I felt like I really wanted to try this planner, but I was still holding out on my Starbucks planner because I bought it. It's the beginning of the year, like, let's not get crazy, right? But knowing that the size and the fact that I was leaving this behind all the time was starting to affect my productivity, that led me to think that, okay, this isn't FOMO anymore. I think I really do need to change something about the way I plan because I felt lost. I felt disorganized. I felt like I didn't have it together. With that conclusion, I was able to confidently switch planners without a lot of guilt. And so when I found this really good bundle deal on Facebook for this planner, I decided to jump on it. And that was basically the reason why I switched. I felt like the Starbucks planner wasn't serving me the way it did anymore. Overall, I feel really good about downsizing. I think it was a good decision overall. Now, I am still using my Starbucks planner, except this time I'm doing memory keeping on it, which I think is what I've always wanted to do with it this whole time, because I did do memory keeping on my Starbucks planner last year as well. But having that along with planning my days, I guess it didn't really mesh well. So this year I'm allowing myself to experiment with keeping my day-to-day planning in a separate notebook and then having all of my memory keeping in my Starbucks planner. So I am a little bit behind on my memory planning, but I can show you really quickly what it looks like. So this is what I use my Starbucks planner for now. I just write something positive that happened that day, and I do decorate my pages. If there's a picture I want to add, I go ahead and paste it right onto the side. And this is my very first spread in my Hobonichi Weeks. It's very meta, but I just really like that picture, so I wanted to add it into my memory planner. And then here I sticker and collage as usual. So I am still using my Starbucks planner. I still love it very much. I'm never going to leave it behind. And if this memory planning works out for me this year, I'm definitely still going to continue buying Starbucks planners in the future. But for now, I am giving myself permission to try something new this year and see how I like it. So that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. This is Baba Notes, and I'll see you next time. Bye!